Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Digital Things, where we at Trinnex like to talk about all things digital water and digital technology and how to help solve common challenges for utilities and infrastructure leaders. So I'm joined today by Dave Braman, user experience designer here at Trinnex. Dave, thank you for joining us today. Really looking forward to our conversation. I've got a couple questions for you. I'll go ahead and ask the first one I've got. So in your opinion, how does a good user experience improve the application of technology?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Glad to be here. I think in general, when we think about a good user experience and how the impact it might have on certain products, it's really all focused on how easily and how quickly you're able to solve a problem. So when you think about some of the best technology in the world, it's always the stuff that you feel at home when you get there in the first screen that you're seeing. So we try and build stuff that kind of captures the majority of those problems and make sure that they're being solved easily within the application. So when we do begin to think about what features we want to include in our products and how we want to present information to our users, it's really focused around those core problems that they're trying to solve and making it as easy as possible for them to accomplish their goals within the software. So that's really what's going to make a huge difference at the end of the day between something that's not necessarily as powerful versus something that's a really incredible tool is going to be how easy it is for you to get in there and perform the actions that you want to get done. So here at Trinnex, we have a lot of research involved in our design process. It's really about connecting with our users at the beginning before we start, laying any serious foundations down for the software, and making sure that we understand exactly what they're struggling with and what they need to get done, and making sure that that is a focal point in every decision that we make when designing the software. So that's pretty
Fantastic.
much it.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing, Dave. Love to hear it. Can you share a couple examples of projects that you've worked on recently that you felt were particularly beneficial to our users?
Yeah, for sure. We do a lot of work with government agencies across the U.S., but also internationally. And some of the projects that I've been involved with personally in the past, couple of years have been with departments of water and sewer. Obviously, as we talked about, Trinnex that's kind of our bread and butter. But additionally, we do a lot of work with transportation departments. I had a couple projects with some groups across the country that were focused on revenue generation and the policies that they're creating. So when you think about, like statewide revenue policy, you've got a lot of really big decisions to make and it impacts a lot of people. And so we've actually built a tool that allows them to simulate the results of certain policy decisions that they could make to evaluate the impacts of those policies across the states that they're in. So, you're talking which demographics are going to be hit, which income areas are going to be the most affected by the policies that they're implementing. And it allows them to make those decisions with a lot of data-driven background, and make sure that whatever they're deciding is, at the end of the day, it's ethical and it's going to make them the most revenue while also providing the most benefit for their consumers, and the population of the state. So stuff like that, I think, has been really impactful just in the past couple of years in terms of work that we've done here. It's like I mentioned before, taking a really complex set of information or a problem that you're trying to solve and translating it into some sort of experience that's easy to navigate, and allows you to make those kinds of decisions that would typically be stressful on your own, with a lot more ease and comfort.
That's great. Thank you for sharing, Dave. Really appreciate your insight and experience. And thank you, everybody, for joining for today's episode of Digital Things. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.